Hello everybody, this is George at Melnick's Automotive. I would like to show in this video how to replace an upper control arm with ball joint, as this comes as one piece on a 2003 through 2007 Honda Accord. We went ahead and jacked up the vehicle, and what we're gonna do right now, I'm gonna get my light on this and I'm gonna jiggle the wheel. I'm gonna show you the play in the control arm. Okay, look at the play that we have up in that ball joint. You got to replace the whole entire control arm. I do recommend a good quality control arm. I currently have here an OEM. This is the part number for it, 51450 Sam David Apple 21. I will post a link in the description where you can get in really nice aftermarket good quality control arm if you don't want to pay premium for it at the dealership. So next we're gonna go ahead and take off the wheel. There's 5 bolts, and we'll remove the wheel, and we're gonna get right underneath there. Alright, next what we need to do, what we need to do, unscrew the side stand bolt. It's an ABS sensor that attaches to the control arm. This bolt right there. What we're going to do, we're actually going to go ahead and remove that bolt first. This job, looking at all data, time base, it should take approximately 1.4 hours. I don't think it's going to take us 1.4 hours, but that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go ahead and get the sensor off of there first, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove this pin here and remove this bolt from the top of the spindle and the control arm. So we went ahead and took the side stand off, and the bracket looks like this. Will come right off. So that's nice and loose. Next, we're gonna go ahead and remove this cotter pin. It's been here for a while. We straightened it out. We're gonna pound it out and take the bolt off. We're gonna use a pair of pliers to straighten it out, and we're gonna gently try to tap it out. It's been there for quite some time. Be patient with it. It will come out. There you go. It didn't take too much effort, but you have to be patient. Next, we're gonna go ahead and remove that bolt. This is a size 17. We're gonna use an impact with a flex to get it off. You could also use an open end wrench or just a ratchet. Alright, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and spray a little bit of WD-40 on that thread there. It'll make a lot easier to remove that nut. It's been there, I think that's been there since, you know, the car was built brand new, and we're in Ohio, so we don't have the best road conditions. We have salt, so that really corrodes them. There you go, just like that, and let it sit there for a minute. There you go. They came out nice and easy. Next, what we need to do, we need to spread the ball joint from the spindle. There's also a tool they make, but I'm gonna show you a tip. What I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna tap on the side of the spindle to break this bolt off. You could also just take a hammer to it and pound it right out. Even though if you ruin this thread, it doesn't matter because you're replacing the control arm. So you can just hit right on top of the thread here, and that will pop right out. Or you could also hit on the side of the spindle. The shock wave would also break it free. So since we don't care about damaging this ball joint because we're putting a new one on, we're gonna just bust it out. We're gonna take a hammer and hit the top of the spindle, and that should pop right out. There you go. It's a very nice tip to do that, so without using the tool. What we did next, instead of removing the whole entire strut, we took 3 bolts from the strut, and then there's 2 other bolts for the support. Then what I did, I end up using like a long breaker bar. I put it between the control arm and engine cradle, and I pushed it down, so I was able to go ahead and push the strut to the side. So now, as you can see, I clearly have the room to remove the 2 bolts. There's one on the right side, there's also one on the left side. So what we're gonna do, just move the strut back and forth to get to the bolts. There is 2 size 14 bolts, and that's the thread sticking out. I'm gonna throw a little bit of a WD-40 on it. I'm gonna spray it. That will make the life a lot easier getting it out. So we're gonna start taking it out. That makes a lot easier. It's gonna take a minute, just be patient. There's also another one on the other side. But you can see that we're saving a lot of time, but not by not removing the whole entire strut, because that would have added probably another 45 minutes to this job. So we should be able to cheat it and save a lot of time on this job. Alright, so we got both of the bolts out. Next, what I'm gonna do, kind of yank it out. So there you go. This is the control arm that we just pulled out. There's 2 bolts just like this. That's how they go. They size 14. But let me show you this ball joint. I'm gonna step on it and I'm gonna see if you could see it. It's making clicking noise. You can hear it's going up and down. So this was a very dangerous situation. This could have popped out of its socket. So now we're gonna go ahead and grab our new one and stick it right in there. Okay, so we went ahead and put the new control arm in, and now all we have to do is just reverse the whole process. So we already got our bolts installed. There's a 1 bolt and then there's one on the other side. We're just gonna reverse the whole process. Okay, so we're in a home stretch on getting this job done. I showed you a really cool tip how you could save yourself a lot of time by not removing the strut. I also recommend using a wrench like this. This is a gear wrench. They come with lifetime warranty, and I'll also post a link in my description. As you could see, you could turn it this way or you could turn it around and turn it counterclockwise. So if you break it, they do replace them, made by Gear Wrench, I believe, and there's other good brands. I'll post the link in my description. But we're just about to be done, and I'll put the wheel on and I'll show you that there is no problem with this bolt joint anymore. All I gotta do, I gotta retighten my bolt and put back the cotter pin in there, reconnect my sensor, and I'm ready to put my wheel back on. That's it. Next, we gotta put the cotter pin back in there. This is a very important step. Do not forget to put this cotter pin back in there, because if you do and that bolt comes loose, you'll have an issue. And you gotta bend it on the back. So you use either needle nose pliers or a screwdriver. You want to get it bent. Just like this. I'm not sure if my camera doing it justice, but you can see that I bent it, and all I gotta do right now is just retighten that nut for the ABS sensor, and we're ready to put the wheel back on. Now all we're doing is just putting all the nuts back on top of the strut, and that's how I was able to save myself at least 45 minutes worth of work, because if I had to pull that strut, it would take forever. Plus all those bolts are rusted, so I saved myself a couple bolts. All my bolts nice and tight. Now I'm gonna put the wheel back on and show you that we're golden here. So we were able to do this job in approximately 35 minutes, not 1.4 hours like all data said. just double check your bolts. Alright, my wheel is nice and tight. Next, take a look. There shouldn't be any play whatsoever in this ball joint. Alright, we jiggling, the whole entire car rocks, but that's dead solid. So that is how you replace a upper control arm ball joint on a 2003 through 2007 Honda Accord. Once again, thanks for watching. This was George with the Melnix Automotive.